interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hello, you beautiful, sensual creatures. I am Steven Skynet Seagal, also known as Sensei Sausage Fingers. Many of you might know me as a dangerous warrior, teacher, poet, scholar, musician, and that is true. Most importantly, I am the law. You might even say that I am above the law.
You're above the law.
I used to be a police officer.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I don't care
No.
about the law.
Enjoy the compilation of some of my finest moments as a police officer, taking all of the narcotics and women off the street and into my room. Oh, and check out the awesome range of merch. If you don't, you're just a real piece of shit. Now on forth to watching and appreciating my brilliance.
Seagal shows us the special trained virgin scent dogs he uses to track down the young ladies for future roles.
They want some. And
more people who recognize Big Daddy Grasshopper, which emboldens Big Papa to hit these people up for some cash.
man,
Steven Seagal.
can you loan me $5?
What?
What?
That's crazy.
It's not free being in the presence of greatness, people.
What they call?
The most important thing, of course, is that Sensei is saving lives.
We got to get in there. Make sure this person's safe. Steven Seagal can save my life.
By the way, we've played this intro before, but can we just recap how he introduces himself and says it twice? Because apparently it might be shocking to people that an 80s action star who loved himself more than anyone else ever could is now a policeman on a reality show.
My name is Steven Seagal. That's right, Steven Seagal.
You might know Steven Seagal.
You want to play with me?
To those people who mock Big Papa in that way, I say eat a dick. We love him and he is the greatest ethnic fluid deity to ever exist.
Of course.
Now let's get into episode chase. Big Daddy Banana Cock seems agitated, and it becomes obvious why.
Clear, you're clear, you're clear, you're clear.
The driver is going way too fast to be able to stop at the upcoming McDonald's, and Seagal is understandably anxious. Nope, sorry. It turns out an 18-year-old has escaped from the dungeon, and Big Papa Predator has put out all the stops to get his prey back.
Talk to Air 1, see if he can watch the house for us and guide us to the bastard if he's running, you hear me? We need direction of flight info from him up on top, Larry. 10-4. Watch this guy. You're good.
Big Daddy dribbling on and giving out instructions to actual police officers, while they're no doubt thinking to themselves,
I want you to shut the f*** up.
Meanwhile, Seagal has the ungrateful captive right where he wants her, and he begins to taunt her.
The subject could be feeling cornered and desperate.
Sensei Stalker makes sure the cops bring out all the stops to find the freshly minted prey.
Alright, what about K9? You want to start K9 in there?
Yes, brother.
All good.
Why this actual police officer is asking Sensei Powdered Sugar what he should do, I don't know. Shouldn't he have a better idea as an actual policeman and not somebody playing the role? Let me answer that for you. No. You're not Steven Seagal, bitch.
You are not Steven Seagal.
Don't really want to go through the window. We're going to put that dog through the window and let him get in there, and if there's anybody in there, you'll hear some screaming.
What I'm hearing is that our lives are more important than the dogs' lives, and I consider this animal cruelty, Papa. I thought you were against that, Sensei.
Animal cruelty is one of my pet peeves.
Send in one of those useless sloppy idiots rolling with you. Don't miss the dogs. Sensei Sprint Champion disappointed that his patented late-age waddle wasn't enough to catch a perpetrator.
I ain't seen nothing. He must have bolted quick. I don't know how this guy could have got away, I swear to God.
Perhaps his early-age jazz hands run would have ended in the suspect being captured. We'll never know. Sensei Smuggler warning everyone out there that birthday snatchings can happen to anyone.
Locks and alarms are not always everything.
Plus,
if you mess around in Sensei's house, you could end up deceased.
In my home, I have trained attack dogs. This guy that broke into my house, my dogs might have killed him.
If I needed more evidence that Sensei is the one to worship, I also had German Shepherds growing up and I love these dogs. All hail Big Daddy Dog Whisperer. Seagal's being honest about his past food habits and buffet line attitude.
Aggressive towards everybody. Kind of wanted to eat everybody.
Seagal's on-set fluffer reveals some intimate details about working with Seagal, particularly on penetration training in the bedroom.
The session was intense, and we now know where the holes are.
Big Daddy BDSM revealing how he expects the women around him to behave.
The most important thing is to make them obey your commands.
And is extremely disappointed when the bitches get a bit toothy.
When I tell them to stop biting and come back to me, they gotta work on that.
Sensei does his Hawkeye vision where he spots a bunch of young people hanging out and doing possible illegal things.
Somebody just handed somebody something.
These officers are definitely not just harassing these kids for misdemeanors and looking for footage for their TV show. They're locking up kids for marijuana seeds and keeping the world safe.
Damn, who's smoking? I smell a weed. Who's smoking?
You smell of marijuana?
Yes, sir.
Because there's marijuana on the front seat. Weed seeds.
This bloke remembers the cameras are there and starts hamming it up. I reiterate, these are not all pathetic charges and just a reason for the cops to harass people.
Huh? No, it ain't. Put him in handcuffs. What's your name? Your brother is Lance, who's 16 years old. You got Tori, and you the other brother. Because you want me to tell you how much I know about your family? I didn't arrest your brothers. I went to school with your brother, Rick.
It comes as a complete shock to nobody that everyone knows Big Papa Princess, including this lady's auntie.
Can you loan me $5, partner?
I got a lot of money.
My auntie love you. But you don't. I'll watch it. I might be.
Oh, hell no!
You absolute f***ing cow. Do you know who you're talking to? Look at his face. You've destroyed him. You definitely ruined Big Daddy Dusseldorf's night with that disrespectful comment.
Auntie love you.
But you don't.
I'll watch it.
It's okay, Big Daddy. Go home and sink your teeth into a cookie and a virgin and you'll be alright, my man. But this is super important stuff. Hassling kids over some weed, so they bring in the canine unit to make the big bust.
You're looking for drugs. The dog's hitting on something. We're just trying to find it. Could be weed, could be anything.
Which turns out to be absolutely nothing.
Yeah, residue, huh? Say nothing now, huh?
Who's this douchebag think he is? Does he think he's P. Diddy or something?
Alright, well thank y'all for coming out. We'll definitely invite y'all to our next party.
What I think happened is they called out the canine squad, told that guy you'd be on TV to just come out and do it. Seagal's filming, and they did purely for the excitement, knowing full well they were probably going to waste everyone's time. I have no proof of that, but I bet you I'm right.
You prick.
And guess what? The only person they arrested was released, so all of this was a complete waste of f***ing time and taxpayer resources. Just so Sensei Smashburger could make some money for another truck full of f***ing cookies and black hair paint. That, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much sums up the show. At least the show Cops was actually exciting.
We don't know if it's an intruder, we don't know if it's a medical emergency, we just know we gotta get there quick.
Once again, Seagal expressing how important he is and that he arrives on the scene. Even if he wasn't a police officer, it's important he get there really, really
Quickly! Quickly!
When they finally arrive on scene, Sensei Scrumptious Sack tries to hold back his excitement when thinking about the potential victim inside.
She might be unconscious.
The lady called 911 after being threatened by a friend, and instead they sent around Steven Seagal and a bunch of other attention-seeking flogs.
This lady was allegedly threatened by a friend and called 911.
I'm one of the highest ranking Aikido teachers in the world.
Seagal realizes this lady is well and truly over 21 and storms out of the house in disgust. Once again, a really exhilarating and pointless scene where absolutely nothing happens and nobody committed a crime.
Our job is done, the lady's safe, and we're on our way out of here to find some drugs and some women.
Now normally I like the after hours segment, but this time it's basically just Seagal having his dogs trained to listen to his every command. Which isn't as fun as the usual deal where he teaches people one of the many skills that he has. But notably, he does take a moment to explain why every single one of his fight scenes looks like complete dog shit for the most part.
And I'm gonna get into the mix and pretend like I'm fighting.
In this episode, Seagal wasn't up to his usual arrogant antics, but he did make it clear that it's crucial to be on scene at all times. I, for one, know that I feel safer anytime he's around.
Steven Seagal can save my life.
To be honest, this was a pretty boring episode compared to the previous two, so I'm hoping number 4 starts to really ramp it up.
Look at this here. Whoa!
I need more Big Papa waddling around and harping on about nothing.
What another great episode of me being extremely handsome and dominating the shit out of everything. Fuck, I am the best. No question about it. And I definitely have an extremely manly run.
Last week, I felt things were a little slow in the world of Lawman and Big Papa Pump action, but the intro to episode 4 lets me know that we're getting Sensei Squeezy Cheese in his element. First, introduced as the greatest musician to ever live.
Put your hands together Steven Seagal!
Well, he wasn't, but he should have been. And this little weasel deserves a slap.
Out of that circle!
Secondly, he's assaulting people whenever possible. In this case, some young fellow African Americans who made the mistake of being around when Seagal and his team are rolling cameras.
Don't make a fox move, you hear me?
My name is Steven Seagal. That's right, Steven Seagal.
Early on, Sensei Sudoku explains his preferred position when he and his colleagues are running a train through a young actress.
Johnny, Larry, and me patrol the front, and then we send Alex and Lawrence up the back.
I personally love how he says me and my team. He could have easily said the team, but this way it sounds like he's the leader and they're hanging on his every word.
Me and my team were out here on patrol.
Sensei Scuffmarks thought he spotted a cookie in this kid's hand and was about to pounce. But it's probably just a bag of crack or something, so they don't bother. Now, they make this out to be some big-ass drama, but when they arrive on scene, nobody's hurt or injured.
Where the baby got hit?
There's a big kerfuffle about whether the kid was hit or not, but either way, some knob thought this was important enough to include in a 20-minute police show.
You dumb motherfucker! You know what you did?
Big Papa Modesty then uses this as a smooth transition to talk about Aikido and how he's the master of harmony and being the center of the universe.
The martial art that I practice is called Aikido, which is all about harmony and oneness.
How does he promote harmony? He comes in, asks some questions about the child.
That's your baby?
Forgets how to speak English correctly.
Where mama?
And achieves nothing. Just for the record, this is how he speaks to the camera.
There's an awful lot of arguing going on here, so I'm going to see if I can promote a little harmony.
And this is how he speaks to the African American folk when he interacts with them.
That's your baby? Where mama? How did mama let him go?
Ethnic fluid, man. Once again, Sensei Slappy Balls switches from regular voice to whatever the f you call this voice and grammar.
You better get him looked at, you hear?
Okay.
All right. And these little children, they fast, boy.
2 seconds later.
So at this point, I'm pretty convinced that the baby wandered out into the street in front of the car, so the driver's free to go.
Nobody knows why, but it's just a thing. And I'm pretty sure we all dig it.
How did mama let him go? Where mama?
Sensei Precious Pubes phrasing this statement in a way that implies he has been to numerous other scenes where babies have not been alright.
Luckily, this time the baby's okay.
As opposed to all the teenage kids they just harass in most episodes. By the way, that kid is more than okay. He was blessed by Steven Seagal as a toddler. He is destined for greatness.
I was born clairvoyant.
Tomorrow we're going to be visiting New Orleans Children's Hospital, and those children need our help more than ever.
So apparently the reason he strolls around with sunglasses most of the time is to hide his emotions. Oh, how lovable is this man?
Yet you don't want to let them see you cry or break down, or so you have to wear sunglasses and really make a strong face all the time.
Now, he's giving to charity. It's more than any of us are doing, so we can't hate him for that. But he could have just gone alone and without peacocking for the cameras. Plus, he could have bought some better gifts. I mean, what is this he's handing out? Some kind of dinner playset? Honestly though, I'd have to be a real arsehole to sit here and have a dig at Sensei Sensitive Nips for visiting these ill children. But if we're being honest, none of these kids have any idea who the f he is. Realistically, anybody younger than me, at the tender age of 41, would have no idea who Sensei Senior Citizen is unless they're told. So no, I won't mock this segment. Good work, Big Daddy. Bring joy to those kids who have no idea who you are.
I love the f out of
Children.
Seagal recounting to the officer a story about one of his female conquests.
That's a girl. What's going on, sister?
Then he reminds the actual policeman how he tore that ass up and clearly takes joy in reliving that pounding he gave her.
That's a girl. That's a girl we
fucked up.
Sensei Hawkeye uses his Zen powers to sense and seek some illegal firearms being carried.
Look at this here.
Whoa!
Seagal carefully chooses his words about how the encounter played out.
Came up at him, threw the swung up against the car, gently.
Gently. Yeah, I imagine they do a lot of gentle throwing, punching, kicking, and pushing of suspects. They're hanging with the expert of assault. Allegedly.
Allegedly, that's ignorant.
We then find out the true reason for Big Daddy's anger and disgust.
And all of a sudden it's a sawed-off shotgun, then I got a little bit unhappy.
No, it's not because of the shotgun. He mentions it, but that ain't the issue. Boom, bingo.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Seagal looks at the narcotics and likes what he sees, so he instantly starts asking questions to get that good hookup.
What you got there? You got that off him? Off him? This one?
These officers employ the same tactics Big Papa Bulldog uses on the women auditioning for roles in his movies.
On your knees, on your knees. Cross your legs. Like that.
While Big Daddy Dungeon Master openly tells us what happened after he caught and questioned last week's escaped prisoner, which you can watch here, but you should only do after this episode.
Every single person I've ever caught, I said, why did you run? Because you scared me.
Don't fear him, he just wants you to love him. Seagal steps back into whatever fake accent you want to call this and says a bunch of sleazy stuff to the woman, and I definitely did not edit this in such a way. Nope.
Don't have to be like this, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, yeah? Hi, Mama. Don't come too hard when you get home.
Actual policemen discussing things they might encounter on their job.
I mean, you just never know in situations.
Ain't that right, boy?
You know,
Are interrupted by Sensei Goochlicker, who can't wait to chime in and tell them how awesome he was when it all happened.
Faced with a life and death decision on what to do. What I did was I shoved his face down in the car and said, don't make one false move.
Before everyone strokes Big Daddy's cock by telling him how badass he was in the moment.
I think your verbiage was a little different. Was it? Yes, sir. I think you used the F word. Did I say don't F and move?
Yo, fuck nuts!
I think you used the MF and the FS and MMF. Do you think I said don't move, mother son?
Now before we're treated to Big Daddy Blues legend playing music in his all-black band, including himself of course, I'd just like to take a moment to thank today's heroes, the African American community that appears in Lawman. Why? Because they managed to refrain from punching Big Daddy Dalai Lama right in his schnoz when he puts on that accent.
Don't have to be like this, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, yeah? Hi, Mama. Don't come too hard when you get home. And these little children, they fast, boy. That's your baby? Where Mama? How did Mama let him go?
If you agree, think about liking and subscribing, otherwise you're clearly racist against black people like Steven Seagal.
I'm as you know, I'm a Russian Mongol, and my family are from Vladivostok and Belarus, and you know.
Seagal's all-black band will play at an event to punish the children in hospital for being weak and sick. Now I'm going to pause it right there and ask that if anyone can translate whatever hot farts just came out of his mouth, I would be forever grateful. I'd like to know what was mumbled.
This is called Rosability de Roses.
Look how at home Big Papa Kunta Kinte is sitting amongst his African American brethren.
I wouldn't be able to breathe if I couldn't play music.
If the way he breathes in movies is anything to go by, he must have stopped playing music a long time ago. Sensei Strip Club convincing the band members that after the concert, it's on to the Titty Club with the all-you-can-eat buffet.
That'd be a good place to go out, just like that.
Big Daddy Ballerina teases us with a little hint to how he pulled off those killer dance moves we all love.
So you've always got to really stay on your toes.
Now the cops stopped this bloke because he turned without a signal and forgot to turn his lights on before driving off. But they have to word it in a way that makes it seem far more suspicious.
He just didn't signal, and then he shut his lights out, you know. When people act funny, when they don't signal, when they turn out their lights, usually means something.
It turns out this bloke wasn't paying his child support, so it's extremely lucky Big Daddy and his mates were there.
You have to understand, children need to be taken care of. They need a father and they need child support.
Ironically, Big Papa harping on about being a parent when, well, if I recall correctly, most of his children want nothing to do with him.
Allegedly.
Before Big Daddy leaves us with a golden chestnut about what to do if you find an attractive drunken girl alone on the side of the road.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Great advice, Big Papa. Tonight he was upset with the lack of assaults and drugs seized and gets ready to chew out the team.
Boys, come on over here. Let's have a little talk.
Once again, I love how he appears as though he's leading this group of actual police officers in their jobs. And naturally, they all suck his ass as much as possible. Especially his fellow brother.
That sounds good, Chief. Appreciate it. I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, I'd say.
Thank y'all for the hard work tonight, and I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you much.
I love children. The people who love me and know me know that.
Yep, except for the ones you ditched in Japan to come and chase stardom in the USA. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Once again, let's listen to how he addresses the crowd.
I'm so happy to be back in Louisiana. Sheriff Norman is here tonight and all of my boys. Thank y'all for coming tonight.
And how he addresses the camera when speaking normally.
Routine traffic stops are a lot more dangerous than you might think.
He's so adorable. And praise the Lord, Sensei again. He decides to bless us with one of his greatest songs, Alligator Ass.
Well, someone took me to a restaurant and I had to eat some fast. I ordered me some chicken, they gave me alligator ass.
And then I heard this and my head almost exploded.
And I can tell you, I've been friends with Steven Seagal for about 20-something years now. He can truly play a guitar, but I'm not so sure he knows how to dance.
Excuse me, mate? Need I remind you of a little something, Chief? I'm genuinely outraged.
How dare you?
Before Sensei finishes the episode by informing us that eating a cookie whilst being balls deep in a 20-year-old is something we should all aspire to achieve.
One of the greatest feelings you could ever have.
It might seem impossible, but I seem to get progressively more brilliant in every episode. I am that magnificent. Have I mentioned that my hair is the symbiote from Venom? That's how I get my superpowers and immortal cranial covering.
For some reason, at the start of every episode, the first thing they show is this. Now let's have a quick read. For 20 years, Steven Seagal has been a deputy in the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office.
I make a living in the movies, but for the past 20 years, I've also been a cop.
A job he's kept out of the limelight. Until now. Why? Because he finally felt the world should know, not because he was becoming irrelevant in movies and in Hollywood.
Quickly! Quickly!
This program shows real people being arrested by real police officers. Yeah, the real police officers that constantly ask Seagal what to do.
Alright, what about K9? You want to start K9 in there?
Yes, brother.
They are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Just for the record, most of the people on this show are released. They're basically arrested because content is needed for this show.
My name is Steven Seagal. That's right, Steven Seagal.
Now that we've sorted that, the very first thing, and I mean the very first thing they show in episode 5, is this.
That's the hold up. That's Steven Seagal. We know who he is. I gotta shake this man's hand or something.
Big Daddy Burger Sauce makes it clear that they plan on harassing as many black people as possible tonight. It's on.
I sure wish you would tell me the guy's name. Where you put the gun, cuz? I need to find that gun.
This entire episode is just about guns, 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 and more guns.
Where you put the gun, cuz? I need to find that gun. Where you put the gun, Mike? Where you put the gun, cuz? Gun gotta be there. I need to find that gun. Gun cock, gun.
Bing, bang, boom.
Sensei Sheriff letting us know that on a Saturday night, he's hitting all the main spots to find that nose candy.
And
make sure all the people feel harassed and annoyed that night.
We're trying to hit all the main troubled areas as thoroughly and as quickly as we can to just make us as safe as we can.
The team here is a black guy involved in a fight and rush to the scene to dispense some justice on these fools.
Disturbance with a gun.
Black male, dreadlocks.
Big Daddy does his best to avoid saying he's black. Smooth cover.
Man with a gun with dreadlocks and it's a fight. Man with a gun with dreadlocks and it's a...
But the team are almost jumping out of their skin to get on scene and catch this black fella.
Come on now, Johnny, get him.
I mean, this guy's literally creaming his jocks at the thought of smacking around some innocent young black kids. He's got that Samuel L. Jackson from Django vibe. They roll up like it's some kind of emergency, but there's already cops on scene. The main difference though, the cameras haven't arrived, and that's all that really matters.
Get him, Johnny.
Johnny must be sick of hearing that already.
Come on now, Johnny, get him. Get him, Johnny. Johnny, let's roll.
Sensei Sweet and Sour runs straight in and uses his Aikido to subdue the tan-skinned gentleman.
Turn around here. Right there. Don't move.
Before telling us that he
was not born on a fucking turnip truck, man.
He can sense there is skullduggery afoot.
My years of studying martial arts and my years of being a police officer have given me a real good sense of who's hiding something.
Big Daddy Dreadlocks taps into his ethnic fluidity again when questioning these young lads.
Where you put the gun, cuz?
I'm starting to think that Sensei's search party really wants to find that gun.
Gun gotta be there. Well, I need to find that gun.
I love how they edit it to make it as though Sensei's sniper scope found that with his Hawkeye tinted glass vision. But we all know that's absolute bullshit, and it's just edited that way.
There it is.
Get a gun right here. Got the gun back here.
Seagal flashes his at some black woman before asking her a pretty straightforward question.
Mama, what is that? I'm asking you, what is that, Mama? Hi, Mama. Don't come too hard when you get home.
He then comes in and ups the drama and danger to the scene, as well as adding that sexy, smooth voice of his.
Gun cocked back like that, man. If they got a hair trigger, go off right now.
Gun safety Seagal is extremely concerned about guns and gun safety.
The car could just be bumped and it could go off.
And teaches the actual police officers how they should be handling these weapons.
First thing you gotta do is hold the hammer, brother. Hold the hammer. Okay, now let it go slowly. Now we're safe. Good job.
You know, I'm starting to think that perhaps it's not so much about Big Daddy Captain being the top dog, as much as these other police officers being absolutely f***ing useless twats. Then, I learned something that I would not know had Big Papa Professor not just schooled me. The man is always teaching.
You know, you have a disturbance where somebody's threatening somebody with a gun. It's a dangerous situation.
No shit, Sherlock.
Big Daddy Buffalo Wings takes a moment to remind this triple chin turtle over here that he knew there was a gun around. He could feel it in his loins.
And I knew the gun was in the car. I kept saying, where's the gun? Where's the gun? Do the kick, do the kick. Where's the gun? Where's the gun?
Before once again harping on about some bullshit about keeping the streets safe.
Got one more gun off the street and the people who are being threatened are safe for the moment.
Bing, bang, boom.
The crew are rolling up on a shooting victim.
Oh, it's bad news.
Big Papa concerned that the victim might not be black and might be a white guy, and shows genuine concern when arriving on the scene. Luckily, Big Papa Puffy Nips was on the scene to ramble on and keep talking shit.
Listen to me, can you feel your feet? I sure wish you would tell me the guy's name. It's a dirty mother shoot you in the back. You hear me? Let me tell you something, bro. Vladimir Putin. Let me tack up. It's gonna be fine, you hear? It's a dirty mother who do like that.
I mean, at this point, everyone should probably just go home because they don't know shit, and Big Papa Persimmon has pretty much everything sold and sorted.
Let me tell you something. It's Bird. And it was right in his spine, too. That's why I kept asking him if he could feel his feet.
Big Daddy Braised Beef pulls a face that appears as though he's fighting whilst daydreaming about having a wank. That's the best way I'd describe it.
Oh, well, okay.
Big Papa Passion Fruit reminding these actual police officers how dangerous his day can be. And this guy looks appropriately disgusted and annoyed.
Just never know what you're going to meet out on the street. Sometimes you have to make split-second decisions that could make the difference between life and death.
Which leads us to Sensei Headshot taking everyone to the shooting range where...
I'm trying to pass out some of the secrets that have made me a master shooter.
And then scolds these punks who must have forgotten just how valuable his time is and is not to be wasted.
Get out the car!
They use a high-tech simulator that looks like it's from the 1980s to simulate real-life events. What's the takeaway from all this? Big Daddy Alpha Dog is the top dog and swings that hog around to let everyone know.
I'm going to say this again. I'm number one, right?
You're number one. We
Yeah.
switched him, that's what happened.
Yeah. And number one did some... So I got him 2 lethal hits.
Big Papa Pimple Nose explains how they feel about harassing and shooting black people on a daily basis.
Even though it's a game to us, it's not a game.
The officers seem to run a lot of scenarios that involve potentially killing black people. Here, Seagal decides which brother he will slaughter and which he'll leave to the pudgy turtle next to him.
Take the left, I got the right.
They take all of that simulation training to the streets to see how many young black kids they can wipe out tonight and stop some kid doing a burnout.
We get a lot of armed robberies, a lot of stolen vehicles. What the is that guy doing, man?
Is he doing donuts?
This fella tells them he has a gun in the car, and they do that usual things where cops demand you listen to everything they say no matter what and toss him to the ground.
Tell me to hold on, nothing, get out the car. I have a pistol in the car. I'll be reaching for that. You get out the car. I'm telling y'all. I ain't reaching for that.
The old sloppy white guy takes a tumble and has a little kip on the floor while the dude in the car pleads his innocence.
I have a pistol in the car.
And you reaching for the gun?
No, I wasn't reaching for the gun.
They all just make an assumption that he was going for the gun, even though he told them about his gun, which makes no sense, but you know, drama for the show.
I got a gun in the car. Yeah, well, if you got a gun in the car, look like you're going for the gun.
Big Daddy really embracing his role as a police officer here, laying down the law and making sure they put some respect on his name.
When we tell you get out the car, you get out the car.
Alright, so let me simplify all this for you. They saw some guy doing burnouts, or donuts, and pulled him over because they need this shit to fill the show. He declares he has a gun, they're all hopped up from the simulation and see a potential black guy to shoot, and they defuse the situation accordingly. Unfortunately for the officers, they weren't able to snatch this guy's birthday, but they were able to tackle him and harass him for a little bit, so it's not a total loss.
We worked on a lot of stuff.
Sensei's spider sense kicked in, and luckily for everyone, they were able to end it without anybody getting hurt, except for this old bloke's kidney.
I think I my kidney up.
And then Sensei Good Samaritan offers his mate a remedy to fix his ailments.
I'll give you some good medicine tonight.
Now, do we think that medicine is A, some drugs, B, some women, C, some drugs and some women, D, cookies and birthday snatching, or E, letting Seagal play with his nipples? Please leave your answer in the comments, I'd love to know. The official answer will come at the end of this episode.
Bullshit, motherfucker!
This enlightened and aware young lad had the lucky honour of being touched by an angel, nay, a real god today, and he realises it.
Wait, oh man, that's Steven Seagal. That's Steven Seagal. We know who he is.
I mean, literally, he was touched by Big Daddy.
I gotta shake this man's hand or something.
That's who pulled you out the car. You shook
All right then, I ain't
Listen to me.
In retrospect, where was all the Aikido training rubbish when this situation came? I mean, I know he's taught these officers, and he was there himself, and in the end, they all just fell and threw him without any technique whatsoever. I'm just making an observation. The policeman just telling the camera they spared the kid's life today because any other officer would have shot him, or because they think he was reaching for a gun and he may not have been.
Could have been killed right here, but because we're good officers and we gave him a chance to get out that vehicle and we pulled him out that vehicle, that man's living the day right now.
This guy was charged for resisting arrest, which is a bit of a fucking stretch, before these rotund warriors decide it's off for some circular treats to eat.
A donut or something?
I want a donut. Yeah, a donut might make my side feel better.
Not donuts, you idiots. Cookies. How could you not go with the cookies? We're finishing up in the shooting range again, where Big Daddy will flex how awesome he is and lead the way.
Exchange ideas and comments and try to make ourselves better.
You're already perfect, Big Papa. There is no need to improve.
This is difficult for me to say.
Gone too hard.
The team reenacts entering one of Sensei's sex dungeons and having to snatch the potential birthdays of young girls who have celebrated one too many beyond the age of 18. Probably the most accurate thing that Seagal has ever said is right about here.
All right, the Three Stooges, let's go.
These are the twats that are showing up if you call the cops in Jefferson Parish. And this bloke also.
Am I
Steven Seagal?
Of course.
I mean, look at these Muppets. They look clueless. None of them look like they could even bend over and touch their toes or get anywhere near it. These are the kind of officers that seem trigger happy, especially if there's no cameras rolling behind them.
Absolutely.
We finish with Big Daddy realizing that he is indeed probably the best cop here because, by comparison, everyone is a sloppy, lazy, useless bum. But that's just my opinion.
Bing, bang, boom.
What do y'all think of Big Daddy Gun Hunter and his antics in this episode? We saw him Aikido one bloke,
Turn right here. Right there. Don't move.
almost fall on another, and of course, he was mobbed by a group of people who wanted his autograph.
Wait, oh man, that's Steven Seagal. That's Steven Seagal. We know who he is.
Hey man, Steven Seagal here. He's a movie star.
Do you think the streets are safer because of Big Papa? What would you do if you arrived on scene if you called the cops? Would you be happy or upset? I wish you were still making the show. The world really needs you right now, Big Papa.
But it might could be an illusion.
This one time I pooped my pants, allegedly, and I could feel it running down my leg and we had to continue shooting. I didn't mind that though. The poop was warm and it was a cold day on set. Sometimes shitting your pants has its advantages.
In Lawman, Sensei and his crew of rotund wombats usually harass adults. But today, he's had enough of the child stains on society and actually gets out to chase them.
Where's that kid going?
Get down, get down.
Himself, without a stunt double.
Bullshit, motherfucker!
I can already tell that this is going to be a banger of an episode, because Sensei Slickback is taking no prisoners or trash talk today.
Do not look over here.
And he lets the audience know, more specifically children and young women, that he is ready to shoot anybody that gets in his way.
Fully loaded, it was ready to go.
Honestly, there's a level of anger and enthusiasm that can only mean one thing. Somebody stole his cookies.
Get him. Watch the dog.
Put your hands on your back.
Oh, that's twice in one episode he's running. Twice. You athletic god.
Yeah, I just,
Big Daddy Daycare has made it clear he ain't messing around with no little kids in this episode. And it's no wonder Sensei Slipknot hates these little punks when they disrespect him straight to his face.
Where's that? Right here.
Don't worry, we'll come back to that later. Slow down, my friends. Episode 6 is going to be a cracker.
But it might could be an illusion.
For those who are unaware, Seagal basically turned up to film this show whenever he had time. He wasn't there every day. Usually he's around at night because obviously that's the best time to
find some drugs or some women.
Today, he's out in the daytime, so he's doing his daywalker thing. And luckily for him, there's a couple of black dudes possibly slaughtering each other, and Big Daddy Dope Sniffer can't hold back his excitement at what he might find on the scene.
Several black males involved in the disturbance with guns. A lot of drugs.
We're only a couple blocks from there, so we're gonna go check it out.
A lot of drugs.
He straight out tells us how excited he is for the booger sugar and how it gets his juices flowing.
And there's a possibility of drugs being involved. All my senses are on high alert.
Along with his search for the nose candy, Sensei is also looking for some Girl Scouts that ran away with his order of cookies, and he will not let it slide at all.
Where's that kid going?
He knows that fat kid knows where all the good cookies are stashed.
Hey! Where cookies go?
The actual police officers do the police work whilst Big Papa Part-Time jumps in to slap on the cuffs for the camera. Big Daddy Dubstep is not only pissed that this kid won't give up the cookie dealer, but he had the gumption to try and look Seagal directly in the eyes.
Do not look over here. Face the wall.
No eye contact, mate. Only acceptable from ladies on their knees.
Bing, bang, boom.
Big Daddy Doomsday sends out a warning to all the Girl Scouts who won't give up their cookie stash.
One in the tube, fully loaded, it was ready to go.
Before he hits a jackpot and realizes he won't be paying for any drugs, women, or cookies out of his own pocket tonight.
Look at this here. Found a big wad of cash.
Got a lot of money in it.
Got a lot of money.
Hoping to find some freebies on the floor, you can tell Sensei Seven Chins is shattered when the search comes up empty.
We looked around to see if he dropped any drugs. We haven't found any.
Big Daddy Dollar Discount keeping a brave face even after finding no
drugs or some women
or cookies, and tells everyone he will not deviate from the mission.
But that's not going to stop us.
As always, it's basically like the Beatles are in town when Sensei Superstar drives by and people see him.
Damn. How y'all doing?
I don't know if these are all setups, or people know he's coming by, or perhaps they all just love him. But I can genuinely see his head growing larger and larger on screen every time someone says his name.
Hey man, Steven Seagal here. He's a movie star.
And of course, it wouldn't be a Lawman episode if there wasn't some form of ethnic fluidity going on with Sensei Cottage Pie.
How y'all doing? How the neighborhood? What's going on, cuz? Hola, ¿qué tal?
Big Papa Parapapam stops to connect with the people in the community because he's a man of the people.
What's going on, Chugs? Y'all know this man? Hey, how you doing?
Big Daddy performs an ocular pat-down to see if there's any trim he might want to take out the back before filming continues. But before he even has a chance, the women basically throw themselves at him. Obviously.
Now that's a sexy man. Come here, Olive Garden, baby. I'm the waitress. I'm gonna take you.
Now that's a sexy man.
Given that there is no way in hell she would have any idea who he is, one might think that this adorable little kid was just sent up to Big Daddy Beanstalk because she was instructed to do so for the cameras.
Where's that? Right here.
I love how she had no idea who he was, but still wanted an autograph. Almost as if this whole scene was orchestrated. You can't fake childlike innocence, as she brilliantly makes Big Daddy and the producers look like tools. Not that they need much help. Now I studied this next scene closely and realised that there was some heavy editing done on the original scene, so I thought it best I show both scenes side by side. Here's the original.
I'll give you $5 if you can outrun him. He's big and fat though, look at him. He's like a little hippopotamus, huh?
And here is the scene that made it onto the show.
I'll give you $5 if you can outrun him. He's big and fat though, look at him. He's like a little hippopotamus, huh?
Now luckily I'm a techno whiz and I spotted this. You're welcome.
I want you to shut the fuck up.
Seagal leaves all these people with some blessings and love hearts,
Lots of love, you hear? Y'all be cool. Be safe, you hear?
And then modestly boasts about how awesome he and his team are for pretending to be friends with all these people for the cameras.
I think Harry Lee would have patted me and my whole team on the back and said, y'all doing good.
Now that playtime's over, it's time to get back to hunting for cookies, and of course, the elusive search for
some drugs or some women. Time to get back to work, y'all.
Sensei Silverback gets flagged down by some lady.
Hold up, we got a flag down.
But unfortunately for him, she's much older than 18 and not in the class of lass he'd usually slay. It turns out her husband was beaten, but Big Daddy Dragon Dick says screw the cameras. If she's offering up, let's go and hash out a quick horizontal tango.
Ya ahorita, tu casa, ita.
Bing, bang, boom.
I mean, come on, Big Papa. Not right in front of the husband, mate. I mean, you're better than that. He does assure the husband, though, at least, that he won't destroy her too much.
No te preocupes, okay? Tranquilo, carnal.
But it only took 3 minutes for Seagal to tear up that poor lady so badly that paramedics are needed.
Give me an ambulance.
Sensei Flabbyface once again demonstrated his ethnic fluidity by changing into his Latin mode to understand this cleaner's ramblings about the incident.
She said she was sleeping in the back and he banged the door in and came in.
No. Now usually the midway scene is hit or miss, and today it's a big miss. They're visiting the old boss's grave, so there's not a lot to talk about other than the tan-coloured tablecloth that Sensei Safari Guy decided to wear. Before they leave the house, Big Daddy Dirty Look takes a moment to sneak a raunchy glance just to remind that young lass that there's an opening in some shitty C-grade movie if she wants it. If she wants to earn it.
It's good to be the king, isn't it?
We're back on the hunt for the angel dust that Big Papa Nostrils has been craving all episode.
Well, we got some intel that there's a lot of drug sling at this location.
And then, once again, he hits the jackpot.
We also heard at roll call, there's a house over there that's known for prostitution.
Yes!
Music to Seagal's sexy ears. He tries to contain his joy and almost lets slip, but saves himself.
And we're just headed over there to see if we can do a little proactive police work. Proactive police work. Find some drugs or some women.
Yep, that's what he's calling snorting lines off of that hooker's ass. Proactive police work.
Proactive police work.
I've never seen Big Daddy Baboon so quick, alert, and jacked to go.
Get him! Get back! Get back! Get back! No! Get back in the house!
Put your hands on your back, don't move.
He takes this one guy away to privately interview him, and then Big Papa Profiterole does that thing where he tells us how awesome he was in whatever situation just took place.
Up and he saw us, he ran. I told Johnny to go around so I can head him off at the pass. Sure enough, he jumped the fence and he saw me coming. He just dove down and then I got on top of him and cuffed him.
Are you really as good as they all say you are?
Yeah.
The chubby turtle takes a moment to ask Sensei Stiffy if he can have some of his sloppy seconds tonight in exchange for a box of baked circular treats.
That's possible.
All right. Just calm down. Let's go be alright.
I feel like this black officer is using a derogatory tone when speaking to this young fella. I told you once before, this guy has Steven from Django vibes. Big Daddy Dingleberry's ears pick up once he hears there's some ladies around for potential punani snatching.
You came to get some what?
A girl.
A girl?
Yeah.
Before feeling comfortable enough with the cameras to just openly admit his drug addiction and party lifestyle.
And I went in the house, I smoked the crack that I had the money for.
I wasn't expecting such honesty, but I respect it, Sensei Spiderballs.
Just because we didn't get none.
All that trouble, we didn't get nothing.
See, this tells me that they're more concerned about having a result for the camera, rather than serving and protecting. Your goal should be to stop or investigate a crime, not to hope and pray that somebody has done something wrong when you turn up.
Oh, well, okay.
The show ends in some ceremony where they're celebrating the previous sheriff, who is now deceased, so let's keep it respectful. But I do just want to make one note, and that is that Sensei Buttermenthol is still itching and chomping to get hold of those
drugs or some women.
Big Papa really outdid himself in this episode, and I cannot wait for the next one, my friends.
If I had to choose between shooting a black person, a white person, or a Hispanic, I would shoot the white person. I wouldn't shoot my fellow blacks and Latinos. Ethnic people stand together. Unless they touch my cookies, then I would fuck them all up.
Lawman has become a staple for me. I need to have my Big Daddy Dingaling fix at least once a week, or I start to go into withdrawal. Well, episode 7 gives me what I need right away, as he's greeted by some ladies that, well, probably wouldn't make the cut for his private auditions. It's not my thoughts, I just know the big man standards, and this ain't it. And it's action galore from the get-go as they finally assault someone with slightly less melanin in their skin.
Mexicans.
And the dashing deity is in the thick of the action, carting around some shooting victims. With his own legs.
Bullshit, motherfucker!
Cruising the mean streets of Jefferson Parish, or as Big Daddy calls it.
These are the jets, these are the projects.
The team are itching to do some
proactive police work.
The chubby turtle informs us that this area is a haven for gardeners, maids, and pool cleaners.
A lot of Hispanics moved into this area because there's a lot of work here.
Then he throws out an unnecessary racial slur.
Sometimes they're referred to as wetbacks.
Before Big Papa Preacher reminds us of why he taps all the trim he can find on his patrols.
We're working as hard as we can to set up a relationship with these people to make it easier for them to reach out to the dick. Hi, Mama. Don't come too hard when you get home.
Then all of a sudden, gets real when there's been a shooting involving 2 people.
About 2 people shot at the location. About 2 males were found outside the location.
It's alleged there's cookies involved, so Big Daddy Oreo is understandably amped. Sensei Sherlock manages to put together the pieces because he's a genius and you're just a moron.
Sounded like 2 people shot in an armed robbery.
2 seconds earlier.
About 2 people shot at the location. About 2 males were found outside the location.
Obviously there's only one man that can make any sense of this, and he puts the experience of
in the martial arts for almost 50 years
into practice.
We have a way of turning chaos into the calm.
Sensei Hawkeye Holmes taps into his years of special forces and detective work to put all the actual police officers to shame as usual.
I can tell you they were down here when they got shot, not up there.
Yeah, Casey Ryback, you show those actual police officers how much they suck.
Down over here. Spent casing.
Let me get this right. You've been on scene, you've called ambulances, everyone has been searching, but the only person who spots the shell casing, right in the open air of the crime scene, is Big Papa Bloodhound. Big Daddy Hula Hoop explains what happened to the last person who cut in front of him at the buffet lunch line.
Life-threatening injuries, 45 caliber. I want you dead.
Before going completely off topic and taking aim at Jean-Claude Van Damme and that pathetic excuse for dancing that we saw in Kickboxer.
It's just sad. It's terrible.
This is how it's done, bitch. Big Daddy Durian looks noticeably concerned as it turns out someone saw him crushing and sniffing not only cookies, but some other form of candy off the ass of a hot 18-year-old.
We do have a witness who says he saw everything.
But luckily for Sensei, the cops hear that the cookie robbery has black guys involved, and they forget all about Sensei's snorting indiscretions. I mean, I don't speak Spanish, but I recognize one word in there. Whilst the police search for the suspects, Big Papa Priorities has his in place because he will focus on the search for the actual evidence. Those circular baked treats.
We'll be looking all night for him.
Aw, he can't help but feel disappointed and disenchanted as he was really keen to have something to dip into his chalky milk after work.
Believe me, that really pisses me off bad.
Things take a strange twist when Big Daddy Stroker flat out says he plans to just pull his chain and see what's inside his little sausage.
You can bet we're gonna pull dick and see who's inside.
Seagal and his mate take a moment to stop and pick up some substances to help get them through the night and stay jacked.
We're hoping that these are the guys. What you got?
Everyone really itching to find some black guys to beat up, but the team can't hide their disappointment when they find only boring old whiteys driving around.
That's one person, and that's not it.
That really pisses me off bad.
What a tragedy.
Sensei finds out that they not only stole basic-ass cookies like Oreos, but they jacked some high-end boutique-style shit that was destined for delivery to Big Daddy's dungeon.
Now that changes everything. These guys are now wanting for cookies.
Our master of munchies is visibly and audibly shaken and disturbed, and I can understand why, Big Papa.
Damn, that pissing me off, Johnny.
The midway episode is about visiting and helping hurricane people, which is cute. Seagal reminiscing about a time gone by when there were distraught women everywhere vulnerable to his charms and advances.
During Katrina, a lot of pussy got leveled.
They make a surprise appearance to a house where there just happens to be cameras already there, ready for his arrival. So it's totally spontaneous. And whilst everyone is obviously excited to be in the presence of a god, this man is wise to pull his woman close to him, because whether either of them like it or not, she's going to be drawn to the great man's hog.
Should I call you Mr. Steven or Mr. Seagal?
Let me answer that for you, darling. You will address him as Big Papa Puffy Nips or God. Those are the only two acceptable options.
I was born Jesus.
She politely asks if Sensei will take her out back and give her a good rogering, and being the great man he is, he's open to anything.
Whatever you want.
Whilst we get to admire the stunning creature sitting atop his head, Master Head Merkin tries to normalize his behavior of rampantly snatching
pussy, cookies,
and
birthday. It's a classic example of what we're seeing everywhere.
This bloke is acting like a giddy little school bitch because a well-known Sasquatch is in his living room painting his wall. This is what society has become.
This is so cool. Man, this is so cool. He doesn't even need a ladder. That's not fair. I don't even... God, I'm so nervous I moved the camera. I'm sorry.
Now, what do we think the odds are that Seagal painted that house for any longer than the time required to gain suitable footage? Does anyone think he stayed around and finished the job for the whole day? Quiz time! The answer is A. 100% he stayed with the people and helped. B. 0%. No hotties between 18 to 20. C. Unsure. If he was offered cookies and milk, perhaps. Or D. Depends how much coke he inhaled that day. Let me know your answer in the comments. It turns out they may have actually made a little private film together while Sensei visited.
Come bring your butt over here.
All right.
And Sensei's saucy snake was impressed by the commitment of the groupies.
Looking good, y'all. I'm really proud of you guys.
And brings the groupies to tears after blessing them with his sweaty ball sack.
Thank you so much for coming to our home. That's all we're waiting for.
Big self food for you.
Big self food for you.
He leaves them with a list of specific kinks and cookie flavors, and if they do as they're told, there might just be a next time.
Hopefully we're going to be able to visit them again when everything's done.
Back on the beat, and the little porkies are in the office where they're thinking about adding salad and vegetables to the lunch menu, and Seagal is noticeably uncomfortable.
That really pisses me off bad.
As expected, Sensei hasn't given up his search for the sugary spherical treats that was snatched from his grasp the other night.
We really want to find them.
They come across some youngsters who are harassed for being underage and possessing cookies without a permit.
We found cookies in the car, but he was just under the legal age for possession.
Big Papa Protein Fart just wants people to recognize the power of cookies and use them in a safe and enjoyable way.
I just want people who are carrying cookies to use them legally and responsibly.
Popeye has his spinach, Seagalians have their cookies. Use the power responsibly.
Fuck no.
They released a young fella and he asked for an autograph.
I get his autograph? Want your autograph.
Okay.
Obviously because it's Big Papa. Except he doesn't want it. His Nana does.
You write it to my grandmother, please. She have all your movies.
Well, this all ended well. No one was shot and everyone was happy.
Oh, yeah.
The crew have been told that there might be some trouble back at the old crime scene, as well as some young ladies. So Sensei Durag puts on his best headgear and starts spanking his mate.
Let's get up. Let's get up.
Big Daddy getting impatient and fed up with this fool withholding the info on the bitches and the bad guys.
He's not sure. Okay. Oh, well, okay.
We're told about the last young actress Big Papa Pigfeet to death when he was this angry, and he made her entire family watch.
And now their friends and family are scared.
Now the episode wasn't a total bust. They may not have found the person who stole the cookies and shot the people. But Sensei did meet a new little friend, which explains why he was so eager to help earlier. trying to impress her. He's extremely keen to get this poor paramedic alone and in the medical supply cabinet for Viagra and some nookies and cookies.
I just hope they get a break soon.
Bing, bang, boom.
As per his request from the previous visit, the groupies have invited over some more females for him to choose from, but I still don't think our sensei is going to be overly happy with the quality. Like I said, I know the man's standards. He is excited to see the kitchen though, which comes as no surprise. A special place for Big Papa.
Oh, man, looks great. And
he expresses his joy at seeing a box of cookies and milk sitting on the counter.
It's a wonder and a pleasure to see them.
Now let's finish on a really charitable note, as Big Daddy calls in the big guns with his star power and pulls out all the stops. I mean, he spared absolutely no expense, so f all the critics out there. He brought along half a dozen pot plants,
plus
one of them was a rose.
It is.
Look at this.
Some roses.
Got a rose bush for you?
Yes.
She pretends to be excited by this. Maybe she fake cried. Perhaps those are genuine tears of disappointment. Either way, bless your soul, lady. Seagal recognizes a great photo and video opportunity when he sees one, so he breaks the soil and watches as other people do all the work. It's right on point.
So let's dig a little bit just
All right,
for...
well, we can do that. Let's see, by planting this next to that plant that's been here.
2 seconds later.
Everything... Yeah, I just, you know...
I mean, it's great the family are happy, and they rebuilt the home, and he painted some shit, bought some roses. But why are we acting like he did some Warlock Winfrey style gifting and shit? She's a wench, but at least she's dropping houses and cars, not roses. I know there's levels, but I mean, come on, Big Papa. You just sold your mansion for a few million. You'll be aight.
Where mama? How did mama let him go?
And the show ends there, with everyone cheering the Great One, causing his cranium with that glorious head covering to swell to conehead levels. Strangely, nobody was really assaulted or arrested in this episode. Not sure how to feel about that one. The star power of Sensei Magnum is obviously present in every episode, especially from people who should have no idea who the hell he is, but their grandmas do.
And you my grandma's favorite actor.
If you enjoyed this video, think about giving it a thumbs up and joining Seagalism. We're the hottest shit in 2024 and taking over the world. Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed. You're all legends. Thank you kindly to all my Patreon members. You're all champions and I truly, truly appreciate the support. Until the next video, keep your wives close when Sensei is around. Don't miss a good photo op, but above all, stay awesome. Peace, legends.
And I'm free when I close my eyes. Yeah, my muscle in my saddle.